Ladies and gentlemen, I'm extremely happy today. I got the one, the only, the Atari 2600. This console has got to be one of the oldest consoles ever made. Okay, now, for those who don't know, you might think, whoa, an Atari, whatchamacallit? It's an Atari 2600, okay? The reason why you don't know this is because it was made in 1977. Now, some of you may be thinking, wow, I used to play that ages ago. You're correct. 30 years old, that's a long time. Okay? So that's what the Atari 2600 was, and it was the first console made by the company Atari. And may I say that you don't see consoles like this anymore. Okay? As you can see, it's got a wooden grain at the front. There's the Atari symbol. But look at that. You get this wooden grain at the front. I mean, you don't see that anymore. That's just great craftsmanship. There's a lot of plastic there, and you got these cool ducts, vents at the front. That's just cool. Okay? And there's a lot of dials on it. I mean, you'll see 6 dials. That's cool. It's like a computer. Okay? Taking a close look at that, you got the on button. It's like this massive metal lever. TV type, okay, believe it or not, it says color or black and white. That's how old this console is, okay? 30 years ago, if you had a color TV, I mean a black and white TV, that would have been like having a plasma now. So, not everyone had a color TV. Moving on. Left difficulty and right difficulty, okay, 2 controllers, left and right controller instead of player 1, player 2. Difficult A is easy, difficult B is the hardest. Same thing for over here. Game select, if you had I think if you had a cartridge that has more than one, I haven't used this before, I'm pretty sure this is what it's for. If you have 2 games on the one cartridge, flick it and it takes you to the next game. If you have game reset, so you know you reset the game. And finally, you have the cartridge slot which says Video Computer System. Okay, now, so so far this console is looking okay. It's 30 years old, it's still cool. However, it does have its downs. Okay, now it might have a lot of switches, but it actually makes sense why they got a lot of switches. Okay, so I'm just going to make a hypothetical situation here. I'm going to play my Atari 2600. Okay, I'm going to play, let's see, Pac-Man. Okay, everyone knows Pac-Man, so I'm going to choose Pac-Man. And if you don't know what Pac-Man is, why don't you? Okay, so here's Atari, Pac-Man. Okay, let's put it in the machine. Okay, I'll try it again. Okay, you may have noticed that it won't go in the machine. Okay, that's because with this cartridge, you actually have to turn it upside down and back the front. That makes no sense whatsoever. Okay, you might have the label Pac-Man, as you may be able to see. Front on, it's just black. And then on the back of the machine, you see Pac-Man upside down. Now, I don't know why they designed their cartridges like that, but seriously, why didn't they have Pac-Man written there, like they already have, and the image there, right side up? I don't know what they're thinking. But anyway, that's just the cartridge slot. Situation number 2, okay? I just put Pac-Man into the machine, everything's looking good. Now, I don't actually have an Atari 2600 controller. Okay, so I'm going to be using this joystick. It's called QuickShot. Okay, when my auntie gave me this console a day ago, all she found was a couple of games, this console, and cables. Okay, so I'm going to use my Sega Mega Drive, or this is what goes in my Sega Mega Drive, my joystick. Okay, so that's actually it's the same output that goes into the machine for a Sega, a Commodore, Amiga, and Atari. So this thing can fit into tons of consoles. I don't know why they did that, because then people just buy, they lose money with controllers, etc., of appliances, instead of having their own unique input. Okay, so let's plug the controller in. Okay, I'm going to try it again. What's going on here? I can't plug this controller in. Let's just take this cartridge out. There is no controller port. You know, my scientific standard for console is at least have the controller ports at the front. Turning to the back, that's where the controller ports are, at the back of the machine. So, if I just quickly plug my joystick in, I'll put it in the left port. I'll just put it in, not the whole way. So I have my controller coming out of the back of the machine, giving it less chord room, and then you play it. I don't know how that works, but I don't know what they're thinking when they're designing this. That's just poor design. You should never have controller ports at the back of a console. That's just ridiculous. Okay, so that's the problem with the Atari 2600, the cartridge slot and controller ports at the back of the machine. Now also at the back of the machine you've got the AC adapter port, and the RF cable is actually built in on the machine. Okay, so it comes out of this little gap, and then you've got the RF cable which comes out. It's a really long RF cable actually, and that just goes whoop, into the TV. Alrighty, so the Atari 2600 has it's out there, you know. It's not like your normal console. Alright, so that's basically the whole console. There's no really more comments I can make. However, there are other versions made of this Atari 2600. There was the Atari 2600 Junior, which didn't have the wooden grain at the front. Okay, now this console, I reckon if you got rid of the wooden grain, it would have costed $10 to $20 cheaper. Okay, because they had the wooden grain at the front and had all this other little stuff that they probably didn't really need, it would have been a bit cheaper. So now I made my own theory. Whenever I play the console, basically, whenever I play it, put your cartridge in, Pac-Man. At least you can see the image art and the name Pac-Man, and you shove your controller in the back, and then the actual controller is coming out the front of the console. So that's how I would actually play my Atari 2600.